All right. We are here. We have made it live across all platforms. We are on YouTube, Facebook, and LinkedIn right now. Thanks so much for joining. My name is Kaylee Marks. I'm the founder of Podcast Farm and the host of Amplify What You Love. And this is my first time live streaming onto LinkedIn, although you may be watching this on Facebook, you may be watching it on YouTube. And either way, for you now joining us here or for you in the future, thanks for spending some time. In today's video, I just wanted to briefly share some pretty awesome findings that I've been discovering over the last several months interviewing coaches and consultants about what is in their way when it comes to creating online videos, podcasts, any kind of content. What are the main blocks? And so I'm going to go over 5 of the most common obstacles right now. And the first thing I wanted to mention is that this is all stuff that we all go through. I go through it. I've been through each one of these obstacles. My clients have been through each one of these obstacles. And so they're really normal. And it's actually really reassuring to see when multiple people are having similar challenges, because the solution is sometimes more apparent the more data. And so the first one that I wanted to share is this idea of I don't have time. And this was actually one of the ones that was most shocking to me. But it's true. It takes a lot of time to set up gear, to plan out your content, to record it, to edit it, to distribute it, to engage with the people who are commenting on it and all that stuff. It takes a really long time. And so I get that. But no matter what you do, you know that you need to populate social media with content. You know, you need to give value to your community. You need to demonstrate your expertise. And I really cannot think of a better way to do so than creating podcasts or videos, because from a single, let's say, conversation or even this video that I'm creating right now, I'm sure I can pull out several clips and use across social media. So rather than waking up on a Monday and realizing, oh no, I need to record a video for my social channels, if I can set up intentional time to record content, to record conversations, then I'm going to fill my pipeline, my social media calendar with content. So I think that when it comes to having time, what we don't have time for is learning things we don't know. We don't have a ton of time to learn how to edit. We don't have a ton of time to learn how to be a great videographer. Some of us do. For some of us, that's our passion, but not for everyone. And so I understand that that can be an obstacle. The second most common obstacle that I hear is that people don't know where to start. So when people think, oh, I want to start a podcast, or I want to start a YouTube channel, or I want to start putting up reels, or I want to start live streaming, but I just literally do not know where to start, I get it. There is a lot of places you could start. There's a lot of ways you can start. The best possible place to start is in goal setting and in defining our goals. And I also have some checklists and some launch maps that are totally free, and I would love to give them to you. You can just DM me or comment below, and I'll make sure you get those. But the point is, having goals defines how you will be successful, and it defines where you will go. And so often we kind of think we have a goal and we go off in a direction. But if we're not writing our goals down, if we're not breaking those large goals into smaller goals and into milestones, it's really easy to become overwhelmed and to never feel like we know where we are on the journey. So that is probably the best solution to this not knowing where to start, is to start with defining your goals. What will creating content do for me? What will launching a podcast do for me in my business? What will this YouTube channel do? Where do I see myself in a year, in 2 years, in 3 years, in 10 years? What am I trying to manifest? What am I trying to create? Starting there is going to help you to throw away things that you don't need to do, avoid wasting time and energy, and focus on the stuff that you do. The third thing that most coaches and consultants are finding challenging is the tech stuff, right? The microphone, the headphones, the lighting, the camera, how do I live stream, all the little details, and how do I package up the content afterwards to maximize the exposure that it's going to get across channels? How do I measure my analytics and figure out what content is performing well? All that stuff can be complicated. It takes time, and that's actually what I teach people to do, is how to get a better handle on it. And for people who do not have the time, who are in alignment, then we have some done for you services, such as content creation, video editing, audio editing, and social media management that we help those people out with. However, I do think that when we take a little bit of ownership over the technology, we're in a safer position. we're in a more comfortable position to troubleshoot things on the fly and to just have a lay of the land. So while the tech stuff is complicated, all you really need is your phone. In today's day and age, it's not that complicated. You get your phone. There's so many little kinds of equipment you can use. This is a wireless lavalier mic that plugs into your phone, and then this body pack stays on you. What I'm using right now is a USB microphone. There's very simple gear out there. You do not need to break the bank. You don't have to spend thousands and thousands of dollars on gear. You just need the most simple solution that will get you to your goals. And this goes back to that first thing, is if we know our goals, we're not going to waste a ton of energy getting a whole bunch of gear that we don't need, or not even starting because we think we need a whole bunch of gear. You really just need your phone. And from that platform, you can kind of increase. You can get the next piece of equipment that you need. But the point is to be giving value to the audience. The point is to be demonstrating your expertise, and you don't need a ton of quality gear for that. The fourth thing that people run into is being intimidated by putting ourselves out on the internet. And here's the interesting thing is, like, I'm going live right now. I don't even know if anyone's watching. But before hitting that live button, I felt that rush, oh, I'm about to broadcast myself across the internet. I have no idea who will see this. What if I say something dumb? What if I say something I regret? What if it's not helpful? What if I get hating comments? Or what if people find out I'm a fraud and I don't know anything? All these things, right? Imposter syndrome, even this sense of like lack of privacy, all these things get in the way. But I kind of feel like Nike has something in their catchphrase: just do it. Sometimes we need to not think about stuff. And sometimes fear means we just don't have a proper plan. Sometimes when we're feeling that insecurity or that fear, it just means we have not planned. So there's so many things we can do to actually overcome that. One, we can just focus on what we love. Focus on what we're passionate about. Focus on our expertise. Focus on what we are most comfortable with. From that vantage point, we have nothing to lose, especially if I'm sharing with you all what has worked for me and my clients. Then I know that's true. I know that I'm speaking from a place of authenticity. I know I'm speaking from a place of experience. I'm not making up stuff when I'm talking about real results or real challenges or what I've gone through. And so I think that it's often just that first step, and then it's deciding what to focus on. And sometimes we need a coach. Sometimes we need a community around us to tell us how awesome the content was, to pat us on the back, to give a little bit of positive validation so that we know that our content is somewhat landing. So the intimidation is natural. The fear is natural. And it is a sign that we're doing something correct, that we're pushing up against that limit. And so if you don't feel any fear, what can you do to turn up the heat? That's the bigger problem than feeling any sort of fear, insecurity, intimidation. The next thing is, why should people listen to me? And this is a connected point, but why should people listen to me? Well, one of my favorite things to realize is that I can always help someone else. There's always someone who hasn't gotten to where I have gotten, who I can try to lift up. And with that realization, I know that there's always someone above me who's farther than me, who can help me. And so people should listen to me only because they resonate with what I have to say, and they think that there's something that I have or some piece of the puzzle that could serve them on their journey. That's why people should listen to me. But people shouldn't listen to me if there's nothing that I have that is of value to them. But knowing that there's a huge population of people who have not gotten to the place I've gotten to in my business or in my life, I can try and serve those people. And I know that there's other people out there who will benefit from not only my message, but they will benefit from helping me. Because when we serve others, when we lift other people up, it's a two-way streak. We're actually growing. We're learning what we know best even deeper. We are finding a sense of fulfillment outside of just what is in it for us. And so by sharing our voice, we begin to build this community of both people who are farther along than us and people who are at our level and people who are not as far as us. And this is how we build this rich community. There's a word for this in a lot of spiritual traditions, sangha, but community is so important. And so people are attracted to the kinds of people that resonate with them. Not to get too energetic here, but it's true. We are attracted to the kinds of people whose energetic like signature matches one that we are, or that we want to be like, or that we just enjoy being around. And so the more that we can amplify our authentic expression, the more we pull in these amazing people. And in a couple hours, I have one of my group calls with just some of the most wonderful people who are launching incredible platforms. And if I had not put out my message, if I had not put out stuff, I would not have attracted those folks to work with. And so it is so important to just stay rooted and grounded in this truth, in this understanding that your ordinary is someone else's extraordinary. And never forget that. Never forget that. Another thing that people run into is I don't like the sound of my voice. And this is a really interesting one, because to a certain extent, we're born with the physical anatomy that we're born with. And as a music producer, I've been a music producer for over 15 years. My music's in Netflix, Hulu, Apple TV, the Sci-Fi Channel. I've worked for record labels. I've toured internationally. And I've produced lots of music for other artists. And I've worked with some amazing vocalists. And I've worked with some, I won't even comment on what kind of vocalists, but everyone has a different kind of voice. One myth is that you cannot learn how to improve your voice. You cannot learn how to be a good singer. You cannot learn how to be a good speaker. The truth is, it's a muscle. It's two vocal cords that resonate and vibrate together. And so you can train your vocal cords. You can do vocal warm-ups just like a singer if you're going to be speaking. You can learn different ways of lowering or raising your pitch. You can learn pronunciation techniques. You can soften the way you speak. You can slow it down or speed it up, or learn how to tell more of a melodic story through your voice. There's so much that one can do to increase sort of the aesthetic nature of the voice. But the truth is, and this is after working with like somewhere between 50 and 100 singers, everyone is hard on themselves, and most people don't love the sound of their voice. Most people are slightly annoyed. Have you ever heard the sound of your voice after you've played it back and you're just like, I can't do it, or I can't listen to my old content? I get it. And in some sense, I think there's some healthy non-narcissism to that. We don't want to just listen and listen, and we listen to our voice all day anyway. But the truth is no one is with you all day, and your voice most likely is fine. The majority of the time, the voice is fine. There's a couple things that can be cleaned up here and there in speech, or filler sentences, filler words, all that stuff. But it's doable. And our voice is our gift. It's what we were born with. We can't really change what we've gotten. It's the instrument that we've gotten, and it is the most powerful instrument that we have. With it, we can literally change the world. With it, we can literally accomplish our wildest dreams. We can save people's lives with our voice. We can inspire people's dreams with our voice. And so to not try to utilize it just seems like a terrible, tragic waste to me. So if you don't like your voice, and that's at all a reason for not putting it out, I would invite you to look into some vocal warm-ups, to look into some proper speaking techniques if that's an issue. But most important, keep in mind that most people are self-conscious of their voice, and it's probably just that. It's probably just our own ego standing in the way of us sharing our gifts. So to summarize, the main obstacles people face are not feeling fully confident in putting themselves out there. They don't like their voice. Why should people listen to me? They don't know where to start. The tech stuff is complicated, and editing and all that stuff is annoying to learn. And there's no time. We don't have the time, right? So if any of these things resonated, please leave a comment below. Let me know which one you feel is the biggest obstacle. If I missed any, please let me know below. If you have any thoughts or comments, I'd love your feedback. I'd love to know if any of this resonated. And until next time, think about which one of these you feel like you need to put the most amount of work into in order to take your message to the next level, to amplify it, and to transform the world with your voice. I'm Kaylee Marks. Thank you so much for sharing some time with me, and I'll catch you on the next one. Take care.